guys, bringing another training video to you. Today is back day. I'm gonna go over each movement the best I can, but I also want to touch on contextualizing training for you. There's many facets that takes, both physical as far as movements that work, with you biomechanically, and then the mental side of things. So. You have your type A personalities that can come in, have a set routine on a daily basis, focus on really, progression through, strict movement patterns, just a set routine. And they do fine doing that. Their satisfaction comes through continually seeing progression through those movements. And then you have people that really need fresh stimulus, that don't necessarily maybe have the attention span that a lot of other people do, and they need variety in their training. I personally, I'll tell you first and foremost that I believe that staying consistent with movements and getting stronger on those movements, in different facets as far as maximal strength, endurance, etc., is the groundwork for optimal hypertrophy. But I'm also going to tell you that that's not the only thing that can cause growth, and I think for the majority of people you really limit your growth by putting yourself in a strict routine, because the majority of people get bored with that. And what happens when you see people get bored is that they don't give 100% to their training sessions. So in all my programming that I do personally, and that how I train, I will keep one or two movements that is consistent, that you're supposed to get stronger on, and then we'll vary the rest. For the most part, some days I'll have two movements I'm trying to get stronger on, and week to week it doesn't have to be the same movement. For example, I came in today and I was going to start with rack pulls, and the rack was being taken, so I decided to start with something else. So again, this is a game of sustainability, consistency, and what we see is motivation, both within the gym, as far as giving 100% effort to your training sessions, and longevity. The time that you can sustain that is really shortened when you put yourself in a super strict training protocol. So don't be afraid of variety, but also realize that progression does come optimally through getting stronger in a set movement. So, anyways, I'm gonna actually skip back to that first movement there, and touch on what I was doing there. You'll see I can do pull-ups without assistance, but what we're doing is I was going back and forth with my partner through just back and forth, no rest. And so as I was fatiguing, I wanted to be able to do a decent amount of reps, and so that's where the assistance comes in. This movement here, you'll actually see I'm kind of leaning into the pad. I'm trying to hit upper back there instead of leaning back. When I fatigue, I start leaning back. But I'm actually more forward in the movement. You'll see my chest up against the pad, and I'm more upright. And I'm really trying to hit upper back here instead of my lats. But again, once I fatigue, I use a little bit of body movement, and the focus shifts to the lats, just because I can't. I'm too fatigued to keep that form, but I know I can get some more tension out of it. So again, it's just about your goals. I hit lats with pull-ups there first, so I'm trying to get something for the upper back. That's just a rest pause set, top heavy set, and then we go down into a squeeze set after some dancing. My friend Alex wants to dance too, I guess, so we always have fun. Slow squeeze, keeping as much tension as possible. And you'll see again that I'm more upright instead of leaning back, and this really hits my upper back, my upper traps, my rhomboids, all kinds of good stuff. So. partials here. And then we go into more of a quote thickness movement. Now, it's not exclusively, you can't exclusively target thickness or width, but I can tell you, a vertical pulling movement seems to have more effect on width versus a horizontal rowing. Typically will have more thickness attributes to it. I think a lot of it's just because the horizontal rowing brings in traps more, and those are going to give more look of thickness. So anyways, you'll see that I'm actually standing at a box here. I'm not just doing that for shits and giggles. Actually, what will happen is if you're not on a box and you're not 6'2", is you'll be turning the movement more into kind of an upright row, because you'll be more upright, and therefore you're putting a lot more attention on the traps and the shoulders rather than the back, which is where we want it. So I put a box so I can increase my height there, so I can really bend over and pull low, make sure I'm hitting my back, rather than just exclusively my traps, shoulders, etc. The weight was kind of heavy today, actually. I think I fatigued myself pretty well with those pull-ups. I'm not used to that short rest time. I don't have that muscular endurance that a lot of people do. So I was weak here, but so this is the top set, the work set. I go to failure with the rows there, and then I'm going to go over and just do body weight rows here. My phone flopping. Can't stop for the gains. Can't stop for the gains. And then just into another quote thickness movement, rowing movement. Typically, I actually go back and forth with vertical pulling and horizontal rowing, but again, it's about making things fun every once in a while, so you don't get complacent or bored. Just mixing it up like that, honestly, the workout took on a whole new feel. So go into this, a warm-up set here, and then I believe I will do a heavy setup this year. I honestly forget what I did here. Gotta put the hat on. That's when you know it's work time, when the hat goes on. And the dancing comes in. And the butt shaking. Okay, so I did 1.5s here. So if you guys have never seen this, all it's going to consist of is you're going to do half the range of motion. And when I bring it in halfway, I'm really squeezing my back, and then a full rep. And that's going to count as one rep. Try these. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I can't really give you an explanation on why these feel the way they do, but I freaking love it. And once you get to where you can't do the full range of motion you see here, I just do half partials to failure. Oh man, what am I doing with my life? I gotta practice for my Magic Mike audition in between sets. That's what I'm doing. So just rack pulls. I was pretty weak here. But I go in, we do 2 warm-ups. I only show you one here. These are a little bit high just because of my sciatica. Typically I tell people I would go 1 notch lower than this. But my sciatica, this feels just about right as far as not giving me issues at the bottom of the movement. So 2 warm-up sets. I went 1 plate, 2 plate, and then I just go a little bit crazy. I wasn't 100% today, and do 315 to failure, as many reps as possible. So I believe this is my final work set. And again, just one more set here. One thing I noticed about rack pull, well, deadlifts mainly, but even rack pulls is, believe it or not, the less I do them. Now, I don't want to do them once every 2 months, but I get stronger if I do them every 2 weeks versus once a week or twice a week. And just, I believe this is specific to me and people that have a more active nervous system, because these are very, very strenuous on the nervous system. And so, it takes a long time for my body to recover. So anyone that is more high-strung, has a high nervous system output, might want to try doing these with less frequency, and you might notice that your strength will actually increase. So give that a shot, see what it does for you. Again, it's all individual. It's all about trying things. Never believe that you know 100%. You know your body 100%, because that just makes it blocks you off to learning, exploring. So, anyways, that's my back day. Enjoy this.